Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California, here today to teach you how to do Koundinyasana number 1. Now, I already did the number 2 video, okay? Not because I do it backwards, but because, of course, yoga does it backwards. Number 2 being the neutral one, number 1 being the spinal twist. We're going to do the twisty one today, which comes from Koundinyasana, my side crow. Now, in order to do this, I'm expecting that you already know how to do side crow. If you don't know how to do side crow already, check out this video. It rocks, if I do say so myself, and it will help you a lot to get into the pose. So, once you have your side crow, we're going to face knees to the right in this scenario, and remember that you want to try to get your arm as close to sort of the midline between your knee and your hip as possible as you come into your Koundinyasana. Now, once you get in, people always ask me which leg goes backwards and which leg goes sideways. Okay? Look at my side crow and you tell me, which one do you think goes sideways and which one do you think goes backwards? Instead of trying to memorize silly stuff like this, intellectualize it. I have one leg that is already resting on an arm, and I have one leg that isn't. So knowing that the leg that goes backwards is no longer going to be on an arm, and the one that goes sideways is going to be on an arm, which one do you think goes backwards? I hope you figured that out. The top leg is going to go backwards in this pose. It's the bottom leg that goes sideways, okay? Because why remove my base, right? So I'm already stable here. This is the leg that needs to move. You see that bottom leg doesn't really need to do anything, but my top leg has a lot of freedom. Now that was just craziness, just to show you how the leg moves. You don't have to do that. That was just crazy. But I just wanted to prove a point. Now, the bottom leg, you have two choices. It can stay bent or it can straighten out. I think the straightening out helps, but some people don't have that flexibility, and so keeping it bent might be better. The key to this pose is this. And if I had even the most basic editing capabilities, I could show you this with a graphic, but I have whatever is like one step less than the most basic editing capabilities or speech capabilities, so I can't really show you. But if you were to imagine a plane that goes from my wrist to my elbow and straight up and down, what I need to do in this pose is try to even out the body weight that goes forward with the body weight that goes backwards. Now remember that when I do this pose, my back leg is heavy. I mean, my front leg's heavy too, but it's more or less neutral. Right? The top leg is going to still be on that same plane of energy, right? So imagine that plane. If this leg goes sideways, you see how it's still on the same plane more or less as the wrist to elbow. It's the back leg that is the confusion, okay? What happens is, again, that back leg, heavy. So what I see for most human beings, because most animals can't actually do this one, is that they come into the pose, and this back leg goes back, and they just fall backwards, okay? Why is that happening? Because too much weight is going on this side of the plane. Imagine the plane over here, wrist, elbows. So what I have to do is, in order to get as much forward of my elbows as I have backwards of my elbows, so I've got heavy stuff backwards of my elbows, is I need to push my chest way forward, okay? So when I come into the pose, instead of just taking that leg straight back, because I know already it's going to be too heavy, I'm going to split my legs. Now this bottom leg can stay straight or not, but you see how my chest goes way forward into this one. If my shoulders are back, my body is back, and I am out of the pose. Now, the other thing you need to keep in mind is that anytime we are doing a twisting pose, the body has a tendency to want to twist into the pose instead of resisting the twist. And then remember that anytime time my shoulders follow the hips in a twist, it's going to sort of fire pull me out of the pose. For example, I come forward, my shoulders need to stay facing forward, okay? I come into my side crow and I split, but people want to twist. And if you ever come out of a side crow facing sideways like I just did, it means you twisted out of the pose. Don't do that. In order to resist the twist, if my legs go one way, my opposite shoulder needs to go the other way. Does that make sense? That's the whole concept of a twist. If my hips are this way, my shoulders are this way, right? If my hips are this way and my shoulders are this way, that ain't a twist, okay? So, I'll do it facing this direction. Notice how my shoulder, I'm going to pull this shoulder way back. So as I come in, the tendency is going to be this way for most people. That's why people keep falling out of it. But instead, I'm going to pull this right shoulder way back. So you see how my shoulders are square, even though my hips are facing sideways. Yeah? Okay. Now, there's actually sort of a little more challenging entry, and that will be to go from side crow to your dewy pada Koundinyasana. It just means two legs Koundinyasana to your ekapada Koundinyasana. In order to do that one, and this is sort of the more classical entry, remember that this shoulder that really wants to turn this way is going to pull backwards. My hands come down, always about shoulders distance apart. I lean forward, and notice also my gaze is way up. That's always important. Legs will come out to the sides, both of them, and then I just scissor one leg backwards. See how my heart went forward? And then see how it retracts a little bit as the leg comes in? And I come back. This is actually one of the easier arm balances. You just have to figure out forward and back. If the leg just goes straight back, it's going to be too heavy. It's going to pop you into the floor every time. So the things you need to remember are top leg is the one that goes backwards, bottom leg can go sideways, or just stay bent is fine. Remember that we're moving across a plane of energy that runs from your elbows to your wrists, and we're trying to even out what's forward with what's back, which means you got to move more forward and keep those shoulders square at all times. Here's my twist. Parsvapakasana. Legs go out. Remember, it's the top leg that goes backwards. Makes sense. My shoulders are square. See that little retraction of the shoulders as I come back in to come back out. This is Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. I hope that helps. You have an awesome day.